Hey everybody, HMV here, playing more Kerbal Space Program, and we've got a new contract configurator update. It adds a new tab here, the All tab. Shows you all available things that you could possibly want to do. The Available tab is what used to be, or I think it's still the same name. Just shows you what contracts are actually available. The Active tab is all your active contracts, which I have a lot of, and we're going to actually complete a lot of these in this mission, which is probably going to take more than one episode. And then the archives, as always, is the same. I have updated this thing. I've also updated the contract configurator contract mod. I had to do a little bit of fiddling, but it wasn't too bad. Apparently there's more functionality, but I'm just going to kind of get to that functionality when I get to it. But what I'm going to get to now, before any of that, is the Duna 1. It is a personless vessel. We're going to put it out on a launch pad and see what it looks like. And here she is. Got a gravity scan from the launch pad. That looks good to me. Let's go ahead and keep that. Actually, we should probably transmit it, but we'll do that later. We'll transmit it once we get into space. Because this thing is never coming home. This thing, at best, is going to end up landed on Duna. We also have, though, beforehand, we've got a contract here to test the Sepratron at the launch site. So let's do that. There we go. We've tested the Sepratron at the launch site. Then we're going to drop this thing in its little cage at the bottom here. And we got a new gravity scan for the launch pad, which is interesting. Let's go ahead and keep it for now. And then this thing is ready to go in 3, 2, 1, launch. This thing has a lot of beef right off the pad to get us going as fast as possible. We should have the computer on already and not be all crazy, but I do want to get turned so that when we drop these first 4 solids, they don't fall back onto the launch pad. Also, we are getting a little crazy on our thing here. Luckily, this thing is pretty aerodynamic, so we can be a little crazy with it and let things go. It looks like those things all crashed into each other anyway, so the chance that they're crashing into the launch pad was low at best. We have got to get this guy cranked down. Don't want to be too crazy with it, but we are already at an apoapsis of 18 kilometers. This is the inefficiencies you deal with when you're dealing with solids. Is, you know, it's hard to keep things going the way you want them to. However, that is greatly mitigated by the fact that solids are so cheap, and you want to have cheap propulsion on the launch pad, because that's where things are the most expensive. This guy's getting less and less controllable as we get higher and higher in the atmosphere. So I'm being more and more vehement with my turning, sacrificing strict efficiency for not ending up with an apoapsis way out near Moon when we're done, and a periapsis still inside the crust. Okay, now we basically have no control. This is all just aerodynamics. I mean, and we're high enough that we've got reaction wheels on these guys that are helping us out a bit. But really, we just want to make sure that we don't flip out of control, etc. And we shouldn't. And we want to pull our periapsis up as quickly as possible. It looks like we're fine. Looks like we're good. We're actually gonna have a lot of extra oomph here, which is perfect. Nice, 300. I'll take that. Okay, we are gonna ditch the fairings. We are gonna ditch. Let's turn the engine off. We're gonna ditch the bottom stage here, and oh, now we get stuff. Let's go ahead and open this up. We might get some more here. Let's go ahead and keep the experiments for now. We're just keeping them, and we'll transmit them when we're not in quite such dire straits. Let's also go ahead and extend these panels. Actually, let's extend all. Might as well use that all y'all mod that I've installed here. And then we are also going to, yeah, is this stage? Yes, it is. Let's go ahead and keep that experiment. Let's go ahead and disconnect these guys. This guy here, not him, that's garbage. Okay, this guy here is a satellite. His job is going to be to complete 3 satellite contracts around Kerbin. Now, one of these is a retrograde, one of them is prograde, and one of them's at Minmus. So we're gonna nail this prograde one, then we're gonna go up to Minmus, then we're gonna leave Minmus retrograde to hit the retrograde one. And I hope I have enough delta V for that. But we got to do that one first. So let's go ahead and Go ahead and thrust him up a little bit to get him around this guy. Because this guy doesn't have anything to do until we're at... there we go. Goodbye. This guy doesn't have anything to do until he's at apoapsis, which is 15 minutes from now. So we got plenty of time for this. And these guys have the ability to hold prograde, which is awesome. We don't really need to use your gimbal. So let's just go ahead and not gimbal you. He's got the reaction wheels up here that are more than enough to hold on to prograde. And I'm just going to burn up until our apoapsis is up at this thing. And then, oh, it shows us the ascending node, which is interesting. And that's really nice because we're actually close to it here. I wish it drew the line, but hey, you know what? Well, you can't have everything. You can, but life would be no fun if you had everything. All right, we are there. Good enough for me. Not quite. Let's go ahead and make sure it's right there. Okay, now this is our ascending node. This is our descending node. So we know roughly here we're going to want to make a burn. And we're going to want to burn down to bring our orbit like that, which is basically perfect. And then we'll deal with it from there. So that's 57 minutes from now, which means we need to jump back to the other ship, which is, yeah, already outside the window, of course. So let's go ahead and get back to him. We don't want the debris, but you know what? Let's go ahead and switch to the debris, and then I can just switch over to the other ship. There he is, and this guy has all he needs to land on Ike and land on Duna, in theory. I will admit that I just kind of eyeballed the numbers and said, yeah, that looks fine. But it is a probe, and if it doesn't get its job done, oh well. So we're going to get this guy up to the 250 mark. Let's go ahead and snap this to the apoapsis, like I like to do. 300 by... Oh, it's 313. I thought it was 250 for some reason. Okay, let's make sure your solar panels are in the sun. They're not. One problem with this ship is that the solar panels I didn't set them up so they would be always in the sun, no matter which way you aimed. It's just something I'm going to have to pay attention to as we go. Shouldn't be a big deal. As long as I keep this window up, showing me my electric charge, we should be fine. But as I start completing contracts, that might get in the way. I also probably should have transmitted all data that was available to transmit, but we'll do that in a second here. And go. Stop. 313 by 312. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and get you in the sun. And then check out what we've got here. Let's review all data. And then we can say transmit this. I guess that's just doing that data. Now, this could be a problem. Although if we do the time warp trick... Nope, time warp trick didn't work. I don't think we're ever going to... I don't think we're ever going to get the pressure data sent. That could be a problem. Let's go ahead and get you warped back around to the sun again. I thought we had enough battery power to send anything we'd want. You would think 2 of these batteries would be enough. Let's go ahead and try. Let's review this data. 200 mits. See, I don't know how much of an electric charge is a mit. It would be convenient if it said 200 electric charge. But let's go ahead and try to transmit that. Maybe 200 electric charge is... No, it is a lot. It's like 2,000. So we're never going to be transmitting it. So we're not going to get very much science on this mission, which isn't a big deal because, like I said before, we have... Yeah, see, we would need 6 of these in order to transmit that. So let's review this temperature data, I guess. Now, this is the gravity scan. This is 60 mits. We could probably do this one. Let's go ahead and get our electric charge back up. Let's go ahead and try to transmit the gravity scan, which is the most. If we can transmit this, 10, 13, 20, 30. Yeah, it looks like it might not work now. Yeah, it should work now, just. But as long as we have full battery, we can transmit the gravity scan, it looks like. 90. Come on. Ooh, it just made it. Okay, let's go ahead and get our battery charge back up to full. And then transmit this gravity scan. And then we just get another one, which is kind of cool, actually. But we are only 4 minutes from the Duna 1 probe, so we're not going to transmit this. We'll just keep this one. I guess we'll just take gravity scans everywhere and transmit them for 40% value. Okay, and yeah, this guy has experiments on him too, but he has, I think, the same amount of power. No, actually, he has 1,000,000, but the other guy had like 200, so actually he might be able to transmit all of his data. Let's go ahead and try it. Well, we know we can do the gravity data. Let's review the atmospheric data. 200 MITs. Let's go ahead and transmit that and see what that does for 1,000 electric charge. I said transmit that. Okay, when we get to 10%, we've just done 1,000. So it looks like we might just have enough. And if we make sure our solar panels are pulling down sunlight, this guy might just be able to transmit us the 200. Let's see. Yeah, because it looks like 1% of 200 is exactly 100. Or exactly 10 or something like that. Maybe not, though. Maybe it's actually more than that. So it's going to end up failing. 90%, not enough electric charge. Cute. Okay, well, that's just wasted experiments. It's nice to know this stuff for when we actually send a mission up. But when we actually send Kerbals up, we won't be... Yeah, this is the alignment change maneuver. When we actually send Kerbals up, they're not going to be transmitting anything. Be a little bit of a stickler for this because these satellite contracts are kind of sticklers. So there we go. Okay, let's see what it says. Our descending node is -1%, which should be fine, really, when it all comes down to it. Looks like a little bit of prograde wouldn't be untoward right now. It's not the time to do it, but it will get us up there. Okay, then out here, we are going to add a maneuver in 4 days. To do this and this and a little bit of retrograde, and that should probably nail it, I would assume. If it doesn't, a little dinky thing will be fine. And this is before the Kerbin Duna window, so I think we're gonna take advantage of that, and we're going to head this guy up to his thing and try to clear this contract before the Kerbin Duna window actually happens. You know what we could do? We could actually add a little bit of north on here. Fix that while we're at it. Might as well. 273 meters per second. We've still got over 2 grand. This is 10% of our burn right here. And there. And there. Let's see if we've got it before we do anything else here. Get precise node out of the way. We're maintaining stability. And bam, nicely done. Okay, now to Minmus, which is actually probably coming up fairly soon. Let's go ahead and do this. How convenient would it be to get it done right here? Oh, look at that. It is convenient to get it done right here. Let's go ahead and focus on Minmus, because there's the orbit we have to hit. So if we come down like this, not sure what it's showing me here, but okay. I almost want to just do this one and then deal with the rest of it when we're in the sphere of influence, like right here. Could actually do, yeah. See, I don't actually want to do that. I mean, this gets us closer to the plane. So maybe I'll do it that way. I don't think it matters that much. It's at least letting me out of maneuver here, though. See, but I would almost rather be out. Although we could do something like this. There we go. That's looking better. And then right here, oh, it's backwards. That's I'm pretty sure that's the precise node doing that and not like the stock game or anything like that. Okay, there's that. And then that'll get us that. That is 50 plus 10 is 60 plus another 50-ish. That's 110 meters per second to get that, and then we've still got over $2,000 to get the last one. So yeah, this guy will easily get all these contracts. Too bad I didn't think to put a parachute on him. He probably could have come back to Kerbin and deposited all his science, but oh well. The next thing up though is the Kerbin Duna window, so let's jump to our other ship and take care of him before we deal with any of these things. Okay, I just plopped a maneuver node down at about where I thought it should be and drug it out, or well, didn't drag it out. I jumped it out 1,000 and then brought it back by tens, and I just bam got a Duna encounter. So that's always nice. Doesn't really matter what that Duna encounter is because we're gonna fix it here anyway. So we're just gonna do this burn the way it says it is here. Let's go ahead and aim at it and then see if we're in the sun. I might as well clear this contract out here. We are in the sun. At least somebody is getting sun. And that's enough for me. So let's bring this up. Let's go around and let's do this burn. 78 seconds. I'm glad I've got the better burn time thing, so I don't have to do the math. But that's about a minute and change, so it's probably going to be around 40 seconds or so. Yeah, 80. Half of 80 is 40. I math good. And now. Hit the wrong button. One nice thing about being in a higher orbit when you do your transfer is you're still in the sun when you burn to Duna. That's nice with probes. You also notice we've got a Moho window, a Dres window, and an Eve window coming up. And in theory, coming up in a year and change, we've got the Jewel and the Elu windows. But really, I'm looking at these three. I have also built a ship. I don't remember what I called it, but it's kind of a generic explorer ship that can do a flyby of all the important things of all these guys. And I just did that challenge where you fly by all the moons, the nearby moons. And so I know how to get a ghillie flyby with a probe, and I think I'm going to try it. So I'm probably going to actually edit my ship now that I know how much battery power it needs to get a transmission off. I'm going to edit the ship so that it can hold that much electric charge, and then we'll get those guys off too to hopefully trigger those contracts being generated. And done. Let's make sure we've got a connection with Duna. We don't. We probably have to go retrograde because I did go slightly too fast. Let's check out these numbers here. 94, 91, 80, 70, 60, 50. There we go. We got an encounter. Might as well tweak it so it's the closest it can be, so it'll be cheaper to do our mid-course correction. Just do something like that. There you go. That should be fine. Oh, we just had a little eclipse there of moon. There's Minmus. Atmospheric pressure scan. 12 mits. We can transmit that. 8 mits. We can transmit that. This might be the first thing that we've ever sent outside of the Kerbin system. Let's see. Yeah, we got a world first. The recent accomplishments. We have gathered scientific data from the sun. From the orbit of the sun, I assume it means. But we transmitted that data off. We've determined that we can send gravioli data. Oh, wait, we need to transmit that gravity data. Review the data. Transmit that. Yeah, but only just. So this one actually might not work. This might cancel itself. Let's go ahead and fill his batteries back up. Let's take care of the science while we're here. I'm not going to show you all this, obviously. But I guess it's semi-important. Okay, let's go ahead and transmit this. There we go. Let's go ahead and reset it. Yeah, see, it's not going now. So now let's charge the batteries back up. And I think the actual antenna is going to have the experiment in it. If I remember correctly, the antenna is what has the experiment in it now. And all we can say is, oh, we can turn off require complete. We might as well do that now just to get rid of this stuff. I didn't know that they had added that. That's very nice. Okay, it transmitted 100% of stuff, and now it's charging up again. So there, it's done all the things. So now let's take another. Okay, now we're gonna turn off allow partial now. So now it requires complete. Then we're going to say log gravity data, and that's not worth sending, so we're not going to bother with that. Then we're going to perform all science again. And anything that's low, we're gonna reset. And anything that's high, I guess it's just those ones. Okay, cool. So we're good. Now let's set up this guy's maneuver node. Yeah, what I was gonna do there is I was going to let's see if we can add a maneuver. Now go minus an orbit. There we go. Now it's going to affect this. What I was doing was I was going to set the ones that I knew would drain the battery. I was going to get an experiment loaded into that guy. So when I did the run all experiments, it would not run those. So I wouldn't have to worry about whether or not I could transmit them. But they're not available in space, so it doesn't matter anyway. Okay, so we are going to positive on the normal to get this guy up. His first job, by the way... Let me actually look at this. Let's go into map mode here. We've got a bunch of contracts here that we have to do. We have to do the flyby of Duna, which we'll just get by reaching Duna. We've got these satellite contracts, which we don't care about right now. We've got the Explore Duna and Explore Ike contracts. We've got Monolith on Jewel, which we don't care about. Okay, testing the Twitch landed at Duna. I accepted that contract before I realized that the Twitch was a bigger engine than this guy can really effectively carry around, so I don't have it. But this test the Ant orbiting Duna... This is the Ant. I have to be in orbit of Duna somewhere in the 500, half a megameter range, 500 kilometer range around Duna. So I need to decide, do I want to just go to Ike and land there? Or do I want to aerobrake at Duna and then get in that orbit and do that? Because I could also get that 500 thing on the way down. Let's see how expensive it's going to be. We've only got, in this stage, we've only got $1,000 of Delta V left. So if we do this normal burn here, and we've already got a encounter with Ike, which is very nice, actually. That basically gets us in the plane. And then we do a little bit of radial here. A little bit more prograde. A little bit more radial just to get, there we go. And then add a maneuver here to get into orbit of Ike. This second burn is 500, and we've got $1,000. So we're gonna do this. We're just gonna do this. We're gonna get into orbit of Ike, land this ship, and take care of all of its stuff. And then, actually, we'll probably be able to use it to get some to Duna. So yeah, we definitely have enough meters per second here, which is awesome. I should rename this guy because he's not really a Duna 1 probe anymore. He's a contractor satellite. And now. And stop now. Not quite yet, but that's good enough. Just tap it in like in golf. And of course I went too far. There we go. Okay, his next maneuver node now, if we focus on him, that is him. Okay, if we focus on Minmus, let's change this node to make sure it's still, yeah, see, it's not good anymore. So let's delete node 2 because it's obviously bad. This node, we need to go like this. And a little bit less radial than we had before. And then down. I think that's pretty good. We're not going to be able to do much better than that. And that gets this thing right at our periapsis, which is probably a good thing. Quick little 2-second burn. Now we're going to do this or this, whichever. And this. A little bit of this. A little more of this. Oh, a little less of this. Some of this. And then a little bit of this. And that really ought to do it. Maybe this. Oh, that prograde being backwards, or the normals being backwards is just crazy. Okay. Really, that ought to be fine. If they want more than that, I guess I'll do it. There we go. It's a little sloppy, but I bet you it counts. It does. Let's maintain stability for 10 seconds. Bam! Another contract. More money in the bank. Okay. Final thing this guy has to do is get back to Kerbin. Backwards, which we could... You know what? I think we can just do this right now. I'm going to hit F5. Although we have so much fuel, it shouldn't matter. There's Kerbin. Where's Minmus? Oh, there's Minmus. Very dark. Oh, well. Whoa, I burned way too much. Way too much. Well, not way too much, but too much. Let's burn this. We're going to get our periapsis right to there. Perfect. And then right here, we're going to do the same thing we did before, which is bring it down. Oh, you know what? We didn't burn too much. I am wasting fuel. Yeah, the whole point of doing this, doing Minmus first, is because it's relatively cheap to flip your orbit around here. Because, yeah, we have to be coming around this way. It's getting more and more expensive as we go, though. Because I'm pushing my apoapsis out. What if we do something like this? Or even this? Just trying to keep my apoapsis in a reasonable place here. Not the best. But that's fine. Let's go ahead and fix it here. Or here. Yeah, it might take an orbit or two, but we got plenty of time. So let's go ahead and do all this. Bring this down. Get it about the right size. Bring it around. Bring it down again. And then over here, we'll actually fix it. That works. I mean, it's 142 meters per second, 10% of our fuel, and we're basically done. Okay, let's get him out of this here. And the next thing up is our Moho window. And at that, I am going to bid you adieu for this episode. Next episode, we are going to launch to Moho. We are very likely going to also launch to Drez and possibly Eve, but probably not, because it looks like we're arriving at Duna before that time. So that's what we're really doing next time. Next time, the main event is going to be the Duna window. I hope you're looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm HMV, and I'm as always, talk at you later.